Hi guys, you are welcome back to my YouTube channel, Beloved Academy. This is the question that we are going to be solving on regression analysis. This typical question is a simple linear regression question. As you can see, they gave us the table that, and we are told to estimate the regression equation, the coefficients of determination, and we should test for the 5% level of significance and what is the yield if 15 kilogram of fertilizer is used. Don't forget that in our previous video, I explained what is meant by regression analysis and simple linear regression. I told you that this is the regression, a typical simple linear regression equation can be represented as the predicted value of y will equals to the intercept plus beta 1 multiplied by xi. Now, this is a typical representation of a regression equation. That is, this is how our equation will look like. This equation that we are told to find, this is how it will look like. Now, before we can get this equation, we have to know the value of our beta naught. Beta naught is the intercept of this equation, and beta 1 is the gradient of this equation. The lines, I get something like this. This intercept, this is the intercept, or this is the intercept. This place is the intercept, beta naught. This is the intercept. Now the gradient is the change that proceed. Let's assume that our slope is positive. If our slope is positive, for example, in this equation, the slope is positive, the slope will tell us how the regression line will look like, and it will tell us the relationship between the predicted value of y and x. So if our slope is positive, we are going to have a regression line that flows upward. But if our slope is negative, we are going to be having what? A negative regression line. The regression line will slope downward. And if the value of our slope is zero, that is, there is no relationship between this value, that is linear, we are going to be having the slope will look like this. The slope is going to look like it. We're going to be having an horizontal line. Therefore, the slope tells us how the regression line will look like. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to write out the parameters in this equation of regression line. The y arc is the predicted value of y. That will be predicted value of y. This is the predicted value of y. Let me put it predicted value of y. Then the b naught is the slope of the line, and the beta 1 is the b naught is the intercept. Sorry, the b naught is the intercept, and beta 1 is the slope. Now, I told you that we cannot get the predicted value of y um, without knowing our intercept and the gradient. Now, how do we find our intercept and gradient? Okay, the slope of the graph slope is given by the summation of x minus x bar into bracket y minus y bar all over summation of y, no, x minus x bar all square. This is the formula for the slope of the regression equation. So now, since I know the slope of the regression equation, I can easily proceed to calculate the intercept of the regression equation. This is the formula for the intercept of the regression equation. This is the formula. The formula is given by the intercept is equals to the mean of y minus slope, which is beta 1, multiplied by the value of the mean of x. The intercept is given by this formula. Therefore, if I know the value of my slope, I can proceed to calculate the intercept of the regression equation. With that being said, let's proceed to solve this question. Okay, so I have my table of regression as this. I have the year at this side. This is the values of x, and this is the value of y. You don't forget that the x are the fertilizers that were used in the course of the production of the maize. So I have my x as this, and I have my y, which is the output of maize, the quantity of maize that was produced. When they make use of 5 kilogram of fertilizer, they produce 12 um, of maize. So when they make use of 7, they produce 14. So as it goes. Now I have my formulas in this place. Don't forget that this is the formula for a typical simple linear regression, and I have the value of my gradient, which is slope, as this, and the formula for the intercept as y mean of y minus the product of the gradient and the mean of x. Now, the next thing I'm going to be doing on this table is to look at what I have here to construct my table. If you look at this table, I have to find, if you look at, I have to first find my gradient, because after finding my slope, I will use my slope to get this intercept, and after knowing my slope and the intercept, I will come back to my linear regression equation and substitute the value of the intercept and the slope. Therefore, I'm going to be getting the gradient first. And if you look at the formula of the gradient, you will realize that I have is summation x minus mean of x multiplied by multiplied by y minus the mean of y whole over summation of this x minus the mean of x squared. So in the table I'm going to be drawing now first is the table of x1 xi rather minus the mean of x. So I'm going to be having here x1 x minus xi minus the mean of x. So I'm going to be having another table like that. I'm going to be having another table. So I'm going to be having another table, x minus the mean of x. If you look at this table now, if you look at this table, you will realize that I need to get the mean of x first, and the mean of x is gotten by the summation. I will add all the value of x, which is the values of the fertilizer that was used. I will add it all together and divide it by the count of all. That is the value. That is how I will get my mean of x. If you look at this, I have the 5, 7, 9, 12, 14, 20, and 21, 24. So in order to get the mean of x, x bar is given by summation x all over n. The value of n is the value of summation x will be 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 plus 12 plus 14 plus 20 plus 21 and plus 24. 112 all over. The value of this summation is 112. So I will count this number one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 112 divided by 8. So the value is 112 divided by 8 is 14. So I have the value of my x bar as 14. So the value of the mean of x is 14. So I've gotten that. So I can proceed to calculate each of the value of my x bar. I'm going to be taking each element of x here. I'll be dividing it. I'll be subtracting it from this mean. That's the table. That's the table this is the meaning of the statement I write there. The value of this I, the meaning of this I signifies that I didn't have only a single value of I, a single value of x. I have 8 values of x, 8 varieties value of x. So I'm going to be taking each value of x. I'm going to be subtracting it from the mean. Now let's proceed. 5 minus 14 will give me minus 9. 7 minus 14 will give me minus 7. 9 minus 14 will give me minus 5. 12 minus 14, I'm going to be getting minus 2. So let me put this. Now 14 minus 14, that will give me 0. 20 minus 14, that is 6. 21 minus 14, that is 7. 24 minus 14, that will give me 10. So I have gotten the value of x minus the mean of x, which I got here. After getting this value, I will go back to my equation again. The next thing I'm going to get is for my equation, I see that I need the value of y minus y bar. So I'm going to be having my next table as what? Y minus mean of y. So this is okay. Let me put this in. So this is the value of this is the table I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be doing now. because the formula from the formula of my gradients, I realized that I need the product of this. So I've already gotten this. I need this also, so I put it down there. So, but I cannot proceed with this without knowing the main value of y. And I know that the table of my y, which is the output of the corn, is this is the table. So I'm going to be using the same approach as I did the hex. I have to add all these numbers together, then divide it by the count of all. That's how to get the main value of y. Of which that's what I'm going to be doing now. The main value of y is the main value of y. No, that's y. The main value of y is equals to summation of y all over n. So the value will now be summation of 12 plus 14 plus 16 plus 18 plus 22 plus 24 plus 26 and plus 32. When I sum all this together, I got 164. 164 all over. The value of n is the total number of all after summing it. So the total numbers is the when you count the numbers without that's not sum. We are going to be counting the number. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to be dividing by 8 again. So the mean of y is 20.5. 20.5. So let me write it down here. The mean of y equals to 20.5. So I have gotten two values now. I have gotten the mean of x and the mean of y. So I can proceed to solve the values for these tables. Then what I'm going to be doing is to subtract the value of y from the mean of y. That's what I have here. Subtract each element that y has from the values of the mean of y, which is 20.50. So for the first column here, for this column, I'm going to, for this cell, I'm going to be having 12 minus 20.50. 12 minus 20.50, that is minus 8.5. Minus 8.5. Minus 8.5. Then the next one is 14 minus 20.50. So I have here minus 6.5. Minus 6.5. Then for the next column, I have 16 minus 20.5. 16 minus 20.5 is minus 4.5. Minus 4.5. Then the next one, I have 18 minus 20.5. 18 minus 20.5 is 2.5. Minus 2.5. So that is how you are going to do for all these rows. I've gotten the value for this column now. Now I'll go back to my formula. The formula is still the same. I need the product of this and this, which is what? The product of this and this. That is the product of this column multiplied by the product of this column. So I need the product of this and this. That's the next column that I'm going to be writing out now. Don't forget the formula itself will give will divide the column that I'm going to be having. So for the next one now, I'm going to be having this column x1 multiplied by x bar, then y high minus y bar, then the multiplication of this. So now this is the next column that I'm going to be having. Now I've known the value of this. This is the value. Have known the value of this. This is the value. The next thing to do is to find, for me to get this cell now, I will take the product of this cell multiplied by the product of this cell. So minus 9 multiplied by minus 8.5. The value is 76.5. Don't forget the subtraction sign. We multiply the subtraction sign and this will become positive. So I'm going to be having 76.50 for this cell, for 76.50. And for the next cell, I'm still going to be doing the same. Minus 7, this cell multiplied by this cell will give me this cell. Minus 7 multiplied by minus 6.5. That will give me 45.50. 45.50. Then for the next one, I'm going to be having minus 5 multiplied by minus 4.5. That will give me 22.50, 22.50, and that's what I'm going to be doing for this cell. Let us proceed with our calculation. This is the value I got in this column. Now go back to the question. You can see this sign. This sign signifies that you are going to be summing the product of this. So the next thing that you are going to be doing is to sum the product of this column. Sum this column, because you have already obtained the product of this and this, which is this. So now you are going to sum in the value that you have in this column, and when you press your calculator, you are going to be having 283. The sum is 283. So this is the summation of the product of this column and this column, which is this. When you sum it, you are going to get 283. Now proceed back to this formula. You can see that that we are just done with the numerator. Now let's proceed to the denominator. If you want to get the value of this denominator, you can see that in this bracket I have the value of my xi minus the mean of x. That is xi minus the mean of x squared. Summation xi minus the mean of x squared. So I have the my xi as this, and the mean of xi minus the mean of x as this table. So what I'm going to be doing is to square this. So I'm going to be having another table at this side. That is xi minus the mean of x squared. Don't forget to put square. Xi minus the mean of x squared. Hold the line. Oh, sorry, I'm not that good at drawing. But I need something better. So I'm going to be having xi minus the mean of x squared. So since I know that I have the value of my xi minus the mean of x here, if I want to get the value of xi minus the mean of x squared, what I'm going to be doing is to square all this value. So minus 9 squared will give me minus 9 multiplied by minus 9. That is 81. 9 times 9 is 81. So the value here is 81. For this one, minus 7 multiplied by minus 7. So I'm going to be having 49 in this column. Then for this, I'm going to be having 25. This one will be 4. 0 squared is 0. And for this column is 36. For this column is 49. Because 7 squared is 49. 7 squared will give me 49. Then for this column, which is 10, 10 multiplied by 10 is 100. So for this column, I'm going to be having 100. So that is how to get this value. That is xi minus x mean of x squared. So I have the table here. Since I've already gotten the value of my xi minus xi squared, I come back to the formula. The formula says I need to find the summation, because this sign means the summation of all this in the bracket. So I'm going to be summing this, and when you add all this together, you are going to get 264. So this value is 264. It's 264. Now I've already gotten the numerator, which is the summation of this, and summation of this, which is 283, and the denominator is what? Summation of xi minus mean of x squared. So what I'm going to be doing is to place this over this. According to the formula, the bi is what? Summation of this is this. So I'm going to have 283 all over. For this one, I'm going to be having 264. So 283 divided by 264, you are going to get 1.07 as the gradient. The gradient will be 1.07. 283 divided by 264, that is 1.07. So you have known the value of your gradient. We can now proceed to calculate the intercept of the regression equation. Now, if you look at this formula, don't forget that the mean value of y is 20.5 and the mean value of x is 14. So, and the gradient is bi, which is what I just calculate. Let me put it down here. Bi is equals to 1.07. So the gradient is 1.07. I can proceed to calculate this. I'll just substitute all the parameters in there. The value of mean of y is 20.5. So I will have 20.5 minus the product of the gradient, which is 1.07, multiplied by the mean, which is mean of x, which is what? 14. So 1.7 multiplied by 14, 20.5 minus 1.07 multiplied by 14, that is 14.98. 14.98 minus 14.98. So 20.5 minus 14.98. That will give me, so 5.52. I have in here 5.52. So the slope, the intercept, which is b naught, the intercept is 5.52. So I'll put down here b naught is equals to 5.52. So now I have gotten the gradient, which is the slope, and the intercept, which is the intercept of the regression line. Now I can now deduce my the predicted value of y, which is equal to slope plus the product of the value of x multiplied by the slope multiplied by the gradient. Don't forget, predicted value of y is given by the intercept plus the gradient multiplied by the value of x. So let me write the equation in this place. I will have y is equals to the intercept, which is b naught, plus the slope which is b high, multiplied by the value of x, because x can be any value more than x is not a single value, so I put I here. So now let's proceed. Don't forget that the slope is what? The intercept is 5.52, so I will have 5.52, the addition of 5.52 plus the gradient. The gradient, which is the slope, is 1.07. So I will have 5.52 plus 1.07 xi. So this is the required regression equation. This is that's how you are going to get your regression equation. This is the regression equation. Now, if you look at this equation, you can easily determine the predicted value of y when you are given the value of x. You can easily determine the quantity of maize, the quantity of the output of maize. You can predict the value when you are given the quantity of fertilizers that you are using. Assuming that they gave us that we should calculate the predicted output of maize when we are given 12 kg of fertilizer, what I'm going to do is to just substitute those 12 into this xi and get the value of the predicted value of y. Now we have come to the end of the first question, which is the which we are told to find the regression equation. Now we have come to the end of this question. In my next video, I'm going to drop video on how to solve the coefficient of determination, how to determine the coefficient of determination of simple linear regression. I'm still treating the same question. That's it. I'm still treating the same question, but I'm going to be teaching you how to determine the coefficient of determination of a simple linear regression. Thank you very much for watching the video. Kindly click on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell if you have not done so. Thank you very much, and drop comments. Tell me how you felt about the video. If you understand the video, drop the comment. If you like the video, let me know in the comments box. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for watching. Bye.
On this channel, you will find information, concepts explanation, tutorials video with detailed explanation that will assist you in gaining more knowledge and insight. In addition, our channel features past question, solution to questions you are likely to encounter in exam, solution to all past questions. Please kindly subscribe.